Welcome to April, the month of new beginnings. What can you expect for this month? Stick around to find out on Astro Numerology Revealed. Hello, Lloyd. How are you?
Hi, Kimbaley. How are you? Good to join you again for this April.
Oh, glad to have you here. And I'm doing fine because spring has finally sprung. I'm
That,
excited about that. The weather is warming up some, and things can start getting a little bit back to normal. I guess it would be normal.
well,
How
it would be
about
for
you?
me. Cold weather, me and cold just don't go together. So anytime it goes from spring, starting late March into this time of the year, May, June, July, August, I love it. I'm on a roll.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get started when it's cold. I could never live in a place where the climate was cold all the time. Like going
Hmm.
to Alaska? Oh, no, no, never.
Yeah, who would want to live in Alaska?
Yeah, somewhere like that. I couldn't make it.
Polar
So,
bears and penguins.
how was your March?
My March was interesting. For Aquarians, it was going through a seven phase, and I was very thoughtful, very reflectful, thinking about certain events that have happened. What does it all mean? What should I do? Those kinds of things. So it was a good time for assessments and to really, kind of get to some answers as to why things have been the way they are. This month is a whole different ball game, though.
Well, I guess I was right behind you because I was in my 6th month, and six is not the friendliest month to. I mean, this the friendliest cycle for me to be in, but it wasn't too bad. A lot of things happened, but I was able to, just carry on like everything's usual. I think Mercury retrograde kind of showed up a little bit sometimes during the month with technology and miscommunications and stuff like that. But it's the awareness that's important because I knew I could expect patience last month. So I guess that's why I was able to get through the month, but we're in a whole new month. And to me, I feel like this month is kind of like the month of beginnings because it's springtime.
Hmm.
We're going to see things changing in nature. And I feel like people during this time or this season also go through changes. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you feel about coming into April?
Yes, but I do want to make something. You said something very important. So I want to digress a second about last month of March. It kind of fit everybody because, first of all, Mercury went retrograde on the 14th and it's still here until April the 7th. So we're kind of on the other side of the rainbow. But not only that, but there was a total lunar eclipse on the 14th of March. And then 2 weeks later, there was a partial solar eclipse. So if people was kind of, and then not only that, Mercury, the planet, uh, the planet of Venus, the planet of love and beauty, was retrograde on March the 1st and going to be finally direct on the 17th of this month. So there was a lot of things going on with relationships, communications, misunderstandings. This month, though, universally for April, we're in a four universal month. What do I mean? Well, when I add 2025, which represents this year we're in, to the fourth calendar month, 9 plus 4 equals 13, and 1 plus 3 is 4. That means for each and every one of us, since the word universal implies just that, each and every one of us, this will be the month for us to get it together, to have a plan of action, to try to avoid things of an impulsive nature. You know how you look before you leap? I mean, or leap before you look? That would not be the best way to do it. Four represents people who need to get themselves structured and organized. We all need to have a blueprint to know where we're going, to have some purpose and direction behind it, to not do things in a helter-skelter fashion. The second week of April is going to be a little confusing to a little bit of everybody up in here, since it will be going through a 6 personal universal week, which is a conflictual thing. So people in relationships and whatnot need to take it easy, not just assume and things like that. In a 4 personal month that we're in now, it's a waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not cycle. In other words, you might want a fur coat, but you need to pay the bills. You might want that new car, but you need to pay the electricity. You know what I'm saying? It's and when I say that, also when I say waste not, want not, I had a client the other day, and he said how this woman had took, just got all his money, but he was in a cycle where he should have took a waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not cycle. So in other words, try not to borrow if possible, but definitely be careful of who you loan money to. Now, there is a caveat, which is, let's say you're approached by a relative or a friend or whatever, and they want to borrow money. You then go into your mental file and ask, okay, did they borrow money from me before? Check. More importantly is, if they borrowed money, did they pay the money back? Okay? Because if they didn't pay the money back, we ain't gonna do no second go rounds. No. Wrap. That's it. That's exactly right. So, it's about being frugal, commonsensical, and everything like that. But yeah. So
I guess that means because I'm really a 4, I guess that's why I do what I do. Sometimes, like, I have been in cases where a person will borrow something for me, and I already know, and I loan it to them, like, you're not going to get it back. But I do it anyway because when I don't get it back, I know that that person can't come back and ask again because they didn't give it back before. So,
I've been approached like that too. And you know what my response was? You know that money you borrowed from me? You need to go borrow that money. I don't play. And I'm a nice guy, but I don't play. Sorry. Okay. Now, astrologically, who does the month favor? Not Aries, although it's Aries season, but it favors Aquarius first, Leo second, and Gemini third, or anyone born on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, or the 13th, the 19th, the 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. Okay. And then there's some things that are going on this month. We've introduced in this year's forecast the cycles, the almanac, certain things to do and not do and whatnot. So, for example, if a person wanted to buy a car, the best times to do it would either be on the 10th of this month, the 20th, or the 30th of this month to buy a car. Okay. Let's say somebody wanted to start a business. Well, they should either do it on the first day of April, which is April Fool's Day, the 9th, or the 28th of the month. Now, let's say somebody want to buy electronics, the new phone gadgets that's come out, or new computer. Well, that would be best done on the 21st and the 30th of the month. Let's say somebody wanted to break a habit, and this is very important because, as I mentioned before, and I'll always mention, to form a habit takes 21 days. To break a habit takes 21 days. So if somebody is interested in breaking a habit, the 21st and 22nd of April is going to be important, as well as the 25th and 26th of the month. Now, let's say somebody wants to do something with their hair. Their hair is thinning. They want to make it grow. There will be times that are very favorable, such as the 1st and the 2nd of April, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of the month will be the best time to get their hair cut so it grows faster. What about a person whose hair grows just wild all over the place? Well, they need to do the reverse. So from the 15th to the 19th of April will be ideal. Then next will be the 23rd, the 24th, and the 27th of the month. And let's say you want to ask for a loan, okay? Because things is tight. Although banks are getting a little cheap now because everything and because the climate of the economic situation. However, but if you must go and ask for a loan from a bank, not your friends, I ain't talking about that kind of loan, but start a business or something, It should be ideally on the 1st, from the 6th to the 8th, and from the 28th and the 29th of the month. So that is our almanac for now. I will say this, for those of you who are listening to our monthly reviews and you want to say, well, what about this? What about that? I'll make sure that's included in future almanacs. But these are based about the 7 or 8 principles: the car, the start of the business, electronics, breaking habits, hair growth, hair shortening, loan, stuff like that. But if there's anything you'd like to add to the pile, just suggest it in the comment section. I'll look into it and we'll see what happens when we start May and June. Other than that, I am ready to go.
And before you get started, I just want to remind everyone, let us know what zodiac sign you're using, or whether you're going by your birthday number, and let us know how your March is. We want to hear from everybody else to see if most people were experiencing the same things. Maybe it was the eclipse that we had, or the Mercury retrograde. Everybody shared that experience. Let us know in the comments.
And before I start, there was a question that appeared in last month's March review that we did, forecast. And somebody had asked a question. They were born August the 14th or something like that, I believe. And they want to know, should they use their zodiac sign or use their birth number? Use both in that sense. What happens is, in the case of astrology, I do whether you're sun, moon, or ascendant, because some people have a school of thought they'd rather read their moon sign rather than their sun sign. Most of us, the overwhelming majority of us, always read our sun sign. The next is those who read the moon sign. And lastly, there are those that read their ascendant, okay? If your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Aries, because this is the season for Aries, this is why we're starting with you first. Next month of May will be Taurus that we start with. But for Aries, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Aries, your theme this month is about stability, to be constant, to be steadfast, to be immovable, that whatever you're doing, just have that element of consistency about you. Because you Aries, which nothing personal, Aries can be impulsive because they're fire and they're the first ones out the gate. So they like to keep it moving. But this time it just says, just keep it a little steady for the most part, because it indicates that this is the month for you, Aries, where you need to be a little bit more structured and organized, because you're in alignment with the universal month for April, which is a 4, and that's the cycle that you happen to be in, the period that you're going through. It means that you need to take a more, how am I going to do this, with a kind of a plan, a blueprint, a thing for action. Although the opening week is going to be about some changes, about travel opportunities and all those possibilities that are involved with it. But it's going to be the second week, the week of the 8th to the 14th, is going to be slightly contradictory, because the cycle that you're in for this month of April and the week that you'll be going through then is definitely going to be contradictory. And what doesn't help you is that the moon will be in your opposition sign of Libra on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th at the same time. So definitely watch your manners with relationships, and definitely watch your finances. However, as you go into the third week, going into the second half of the month, it tells me that you can stop, look, and listen, take time to reflect, get a look at how you've been doing things and what's happening. Expect some kind of interesting dreams or things of that nature to occur too, where you kind of go down the rabbit hole and suddenly wake up to find out what's that about. However, in the final week of April, your birthday month, you'll find it on the 26th and the 27th, when the moon is sitting in your sign. Your finances should look very, very good. So despite how the month starts off, where you got to work hard, make an effort, put your shoulders to the wheels, you should be more than compensated by the end of the month, just as you go into May. But it's around that 26 and 27. Now, who's going to help you? Leos are going to help you. Aquarians and Geminis are going to help you, as well as anyone that's born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. Now, The color to wear is all half tones, okay, from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be sapphire, okay? Now, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Taurus, this is easy for you. Your theme is about being a winner, okay? Taurus is like the win. The symbol is the bull, so that should tell you right away. And they, when there's a bull, like as they run in Spain or whatever case is, where these countries are, everybody gets out the way of the bull. So when I say a winner, not in a selfish way, but in a way that if your attitude has been kind of like challenging, that if you haven't been feeling good about yourself, snap out of it. This is your month to be a winner and act like a winner, act the part, look the part, and you become the part. That is really it. I learned this technique from Manifest on Purpose, but this is very, very important to understand and keep this attitude, because what's going to happen is in the very opening week, things are going to be happening because on the very first day of the month, the moon is going to be sitting in your sign, which is considered auspicious to kind of set the stage to get the month of April off the ground. But it does mean you got to be a little patient. You got to be a little diplomatic. You cannot rush it, but more, okay, winners always go to the swiftest, okay? But in this first week, it's not about that. So if you think of the tortoise and the hare, although the rabbit was running far, far faster than the tortoise wound up winning the race. So it's kind of that week coming out the gate. As you go into the second week, it does indicate around the 14th and the 15th, you got to be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more diplomatic, and not overextend yourself. And more important about being a winner is not getting caught up in other people's gossip or drama or other things like that. Because if they're talking about them, what that tells me, they're going to be talking about you if you're not careful. All right. So these are things to keep in mind for you if you want to maintain a winning attitude. As you go into the third month, you definitely going to have a sense of order, a sense of direction, a sense of focus and purpose and intentions in terms of what you're going to be doing. And that's going to be a good part, because you're going to be getting all your ducks in a row. It's going to be very, very important for you. And then as you go into the last week, it's going to allow some major changes, full of opportunities and possibilities, all the things you would like to do to turn your life and your career and relationships and your home and health, everything around is what you want. And especially with the moon sitting in your sign on the 28th of the month. Now, who's likely to help you? Well, you will find that a Leo is going to help you, an Aquarius is going to help you, and Aries, or anybody born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. The color to wear for you, Taurus, this month is golden brown. And don't forget, now that we get into the springtime and we're getting ready to come close to your birthday, that would seem about right. But right now, we're still in Aries for sure. We're just getting started. Now, the stone or crystal to wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be topaz. For Geminis, if your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Gemini, your theme is about compassion. Geminis can keep it moving. Okay, they're swift. They're they're very flexible. They're mutable sign, which means they adjust to changing conditions. But along this way, this month, is about being kind and showing consideration and sympathy and empathy toward others. Now, you might be more sympathetic and compassionate to yourself because it indicates that you come out of the first week of April, especially on the second and the third when the moon is sitting in your sign. It might be me, me, me. I do understand that. But understand it's not at the point of neglecting those around you, whether loved ones, relatives, friends, or associates, but to still be compassionate. And it's easier said than done, too. And it doesn't take much, just being mindful of how you're dealing with people, mindful in the sense of how you want to be treated. That's how you need to treat other people. That is the part about the compassion, because it's going to be very important as you go into the relationship week of the 8th through the 14th, where there are going to be possible changes in relationships, changes at the workplace, maybe some changes around the home. But it also indicates to just be a little bit more mindful. As you go into the third week, especially around the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Sagittarius, that is when you're likely to find that things will be a little bit more kind of like not the way you want it. And especially when it comes to overextending yourself. So don't make promises you can't keep. Don't overtalk yourself into something you can't get out of. This is going to be very, very important. During that week, you might even deal with some legal or semi-legal matters, but if you play your cards right and don't lose your cool, you'll find that you'll weather the storm perfectly. And also you'll find that in the last week, in the closing week, that's when you're going to have a sense of, okay, I see everything. I begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see that things are moving forward the way I want to. You'll find that who are the people that's going to be helping you is going to be Aries and Scorpio and Leo, or anyone that's born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. The color that you should wear this particular month, Gemini, for April is crimson, and the stone or crystal to wear or carry in addition to shungite should be bloodstone. Cancer. All right, Cancer. For you, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Cancer, your theme this month is about devotion. And actually, can't nobody do it better than you. It is the sign, if you go around the wheel of the Zodiac, the fourth house known as Cancer is the house of the mother. And not only just the mother in a physical way, but a mother in a symbolic way. They always go to home. There's nothing, that says no matter where you go, there's nothing like being home. Well, Cancers are going to find that you will have this devotion about you that's going to lead to care, attentiveness, and support. And that is how you carry yourself. And it's going to be significant in the first week because on the 4th and the 5th, the moon will actually be sitting in your sign, which will give you that kind of assistance to really reflect and determine what is in your best interest. If you haven't meditated before, that would be a good time to practice. Start with 5 minutes, start with a couple of minutes. And then by the end of the month, you'll surprise yourself that you go past maybe 15 minutes or so like that. But the point is to go within, to become devoted to yourself too, and devoted to making yourself a better person. Around the second week, it does indicate that you have to be a little bit more mindful because don't forget, up until the 7th of April, the moon will still be, Mercury, the planet of communication, will still be in the sign of retrograde, ending itself. So just as you go into that stretch, don't just be assuming that, especially when it comes to people from your past, as well as relationships. It's going to be in that third week from the 15th to the 21st, around the 19th and the 20th, when the moon will be sitting not only in your opposition sign of Capricorn, I should say, but you will find that because of the cycle denoting endings and conflicts and things like that, to be very, very mindful, to not to lose your cool, but stay devoted, stay focused, stay supportive of what you plan to do, and don't lose sight of that because people can throw you off your course. Because the blessing is this, that as you close out the month of April, you're going to find that now you're steadfast, your confidence is going to be raised to another level of accomplishments. You'll find that you'll be getting a lot of things done, and you will find that in terms of home and family and health and other commitments like that, everything is going to be looking pretty good for you. But the point is to stay focused and devoted to the things you want to do. Now, who is likely to help you during the month of April for Cancers will be Tauruses and Librans, and anybody born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month. Now, who is likely the color to wear for Cancers will be blue from the lightest to the darkest. And then the stone or crystals you should wear or carry should be amulet. Okay. Those will be the very important stones for you this time. Now, let's say your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Leo. The theme for you this month, Leo, is being versatility. That's the theme. What do I mean? Be adaptable, be resourceful, be useful. Put all the talents that God has given you, that you put to all its greatest use. Okay. It's like one company, a soda company, who shall not be named. Well, this soda company is known all over the world, but they got their hands in more than things too, like potato chips and cookies and snacks and whatnot. So it's about being exhibiting versatility. And Leo is one of the most talented signs in the zodiac anyway. So whatever gifts, talents, skills, and abilities you have, put them to the greatest use. Put them to the best use possible, and become, as they say nowadays, the best version of yourself. You'll find that that will be important, especially around the 6th, 7th, and 8th, when when the moon is actually sitting in your sun sign of Leo. That right there is going to kick off the month of April for you in a very good fashion. And because it's dealing with some money and opportunities and things like that, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for family or seeing relatives or all the things that you want. And as you go into that second week, that's when you're going to stop, look, and listen, reflect, take your time, and begin to assess the things that are happening in terms of your personal life, your education, your health, and all the things. But it's all about the changes. It's about change and opportunities and all the possibilities that you can make happen. And I would say for all you Leos during the month of April, the best way to hold on to you is to let you breathe, to not kind of restrict you. This is not, so anybody who's dealing with a Leo, whether male to a female, female to a male, and that person is a Leo, don't try to be clocking them. This is not going to work this month for Leos. If you got a Leo and you trying to have that expectation, I mean, you could try it, but when they go and don't come back in a minute, then it can't be said we didn't have this conversation. I'll put it like that. As we go into the third week, that's going to be the money period. That's the 15th through the 21st. That's when look for opportunities to happen of a financial way. You might get a bonus or a raise or a lottery or something, but something in a financial way is going to happen, as well as reconnecting with people from your past too. Friends, relatives, neighbors you haven't seen in a while. As you go into the last week around the 21st and 22nd, the moon is going to be sitting in your opposition sign of Aquarius. And that's going to be a phase where you need to hit the brakes a second, slow it down, because you'll be going through an impulsive period. And so you got to just be mindful to take your time and yet let all your versatility shine to the max while you're doing it in the process. You're going to find along the way, you're going to be meeting a lot of people that's going to be helping you. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to go into business, science, commerce, communications, import, export, the stock exchange. It's just going to be a whole different thing of an imagination for you. You'll find that Geminis, Virgos, Aquarians will help you, or anybody born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. Now, the color that Leo should wear is like metallic grays. Those will be the best things for them to wear. The stone to crystal to wear or carry in addition to shungite should be opal, okay? And so that would be good for them. Now, let's take Virgos. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Virgo, the theme this month for you is being universal. That is being a part of the collective. That means being part of the comprehensive, where it's everything, noticing that every single one of us has a certain thing, a love of home, a love of family, a love of food, a love of protection from the elements, that let it not be partial, because Virgos can be very, very discriminating, you know. And I don't say in a kind of like a negative tone, but just as Virgos are very picky about their eating habits, picky about the people they deal with, that's understandable. But this month, Virgo says you got to raise your awareness. You got to open it up a little bit and just take into consideration that, yes, this is how I do things, but also you must be mindful about other people are doing things too, because the month of the very first week indicates it's going to be a me, myself, and I, which is understandable because of the nature of the beast anyway with human beings. But at the same time, be also conscious that there are universal laws that you must follow to be successful this month of April, especially in the second week around the 9th and the 10th, when the moon is sitting in your sign. And it's going to be very, very good for you to join forces with others, bring people together. Also, there are going to be some changes around the home and also the office or the workplace, and especially changes in the relationships for that matter as well. And you'll find that going into the third week, that's when things are going to open up and really break out for you. It's going to also have to do a lot with your career, your reputation, and also making sure that you make the right contacts to help you get to the next level. Now, going into the tail end is going to be a little rough around the edges. I'm not going to front, especially around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Pisces. All right. So, but if you understand that, you can take it. So, again, since the whole theme of April is a waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not, this last week of April is going to be even more emphasized in that way. Don't borrow if you can help it. Don't loan if you can help it. But at the same time, be universal in treating everybody the same way, and you come out on top. Now, who's likely to help you? Well, Scorpio and Aries, or anyone that's born on the 9th, the 18th, the 27th of the month. And the color that you should wear should be rose, from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone or crystal you should wear or carry in this case should be garnet. Okay, that is going to be the theme. So now let's say we're talking about Libra. All right. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Libra, a cardinal sign, your theme this month is to be unique, to be a standout, to be original, to be like, oh, that's unique. Yes, it's a double entendre, so to speak. And it indicates that unique how? In your original approach to this month of April, although this time of for all Librans, you're at your lowest point in the zodiac in the sign of Aries anyway, but nonetheless, it still means that this is your month to step out on faith, to do things on your own terms, to make the best of the situation, although do it with discretion, do it with kind of discreetness, and kind of like not push the month. Don't start off the month pushing and overbearing, because don't forget, you want to be unique, not antagonistic. There's a whole difference in that definition. But being unique in a way that people sit up and take notice. They say, that's interesting. That's different for a change, because your sign is about beauty and balance in the first place. And so you'll find that in that second week, around the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, and you'll be going through an expansive period in that week, that's going to be a very busy and effective and a charming and productive week for you. That is for sure. And then as you go into that third week, just as you go past the middle of the month, that's when you're going to have to slow down, because there's going to be some barriers, or, well, I should put it, it's not barriers in a way that you can't overcome it, but they're going to be some little bump in the roads. I'll put it like that to make it easier, that you're going to have to be more mindful of, to slow and hit the brakes and not go as fast, although you're starting out. Now, as you go into the final month of April, look for a major change and an opportunity to make a change in whatever level you want, whether health, relationships, career, residence, whatever. But you must do so with tact, because on the 26th and the 27th, the moon will be sitting in your opposition sign of Aries, and you are in the period of Aries, although you, by this time, you'll be moving and feeling the rays of the sun in the sign of Taurus. But nonetheless, April is assigned to Aries, period. Now, who's going to help you? A Leo, an Aquarius, and believe it or not, an Aries, or someone born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. They're going to help you. The color you should wear for the month of April, Libra, is yellow, from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone or crystal you should wear or carry in addition to shungite should be amber. Alrighty? Scorpios. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Scorpio, the theme this month for you is work. I know some of you are saying, oh man, but like, how you going to get anything done without putting some effort and energy into it? Because that's what this has got. You got to get your grind on this month. You got to really like labor. You got to put forth the effort. You got to put your shoulders to the wheels. But will it be worth it if you do that on the other end of this month? Oh, yes, by no question. But if you're the kind of person, all depending on what generation you're born on, the generation X, Y, Z, or whatever letters they throwing out there nowadays, that if you're not used to the work ethics, you may find this month a little challenging for you. That's all I'm saying. But for those of you who know how to, handle your business, walk the walk, not just talk the talk, and stay on your grind, this month will prove very, very beneficial for you. Especially now, it may not be that way on day one when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Taurus. You may not feel that at all, like what is straight talking about, but it means about getting it together. And it does bring an opportunity, but try not to be too swift. Try to kind of take your time, see how things unfold in the beginning, and you'll find that things will work out a little bit better. Because as you go into the second week, that's going to be more contradictory, because the period that you're in, which represents symbolically the 4 restrictions, and the second week, which is about home, health, relationships, which are antagonistic to each other, you're likely to have some challenges, although after the 14th and the 15th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, you'll do much better. But as you go into the second half of the month, now is time to stop, look, and listen, to reflect, to meditate, to grab a quiet time to ask yourself what in the world you've been doing and why you've been doing these things. What does it all mean? Because in the worth ethics, it is about whatever you put in is what you get back. Like anything that's worth it, you got to put energies into it. And if you can take that attitude, you will begin to see the fruits of your labors by the tail end of the month. The only thing is you got to be a little careful on the 25th when the moon is coming back around to your opposition sign again in the sign of Taurus. Other than that, you should do well. But who is likely to help you, Scorpios, will be it will be Aquarians, it will be Leos, it'll be Geminis, and people that are born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. The color to wear this month, Scorpio, is metallic gray, from the lightest to the darkest, and the stone or crystal to wear or carry in addition to shungite should be copper, believe it or not. Now, what about Sagittarius? If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Sagittarius, the theme this month is about thoughtfulness. Think about it. Sometimes when you do something, think. You'd be surprised that a lot of people will do things without thinking, without giving it a second thought, because it's more about me. Well, the point is Sagittarians are very busy. They're very flexible. They're very energized. They're all over the place. But this time you got to take other people kind of into consideration through the acts of thoughtfulness. Okay. In other words, you want for other people what you want for yourself. And this is going to be very important in that first week, because on the 2nd and the 3rd, the moon is going to be in your opposition sign of Gemini in the first place. So therefore, it indicates even when you start out the gate, there's going to be a period of reflection that's going to affect your finances, that you be very thoughtful about how you're spending, much less how you're lending, which is a no-no. Plus, Mercury will still be retrograde up until the 7th. So it's that first week that you're still not out of the woods. And with the moon in your opposition sign, it just means just have a little care, caution, and a little common sense. Because the cycle that you happen to be in thoughtfulness, is that this month for you governs the law of attraction. So whatever you're thinking is what you attract. So just exercising the law of thoughtfulness, just think. Don't chase, just think about what you want. And then as they say, you let go and let God bring it to you. You're in a magnetizing effect for the month of April, which is what I'm trying to say. And you're going to find all your dreams are going to come true around that second week. And yet you're going to get an opportunity to cut your losses too, where you wake up and say, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need that. And you might look at somebody straddling the fence and say, you know what? I don't think I need you guys either. Because as you go into the third week or the second half of the month, around the 16th, 17th, and 18th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, actually, it'll give you a time to jumpstart your life, to jumpstart the direction you want to go. Not what other people want of you, not what other people expect of you, but what you want for yourself, thankfully. But even in the process where it appears selfish, always be thoughtful of others. Always think, would you want somebody to do this to you? Then you have the thoughtfulness not to treat the person that same way. The door has to swing both ways this particular month of April, and you won't be able to do it any other way. And as you close out the final month, it means you got to be tactful, because your sign is ruled by fire and you be in a fire period. It simply means around the 29th and the 30th, as we close out the month of April, that you not really rush into things only because the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Gemini. And so just be mindful at that time. Now, who is likely to help you? Well, Pisces and Cancers, or anybody born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month. The color to wear for you this month, Sagittarius, is silver in all its shades and sizes. And then the stone to wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be jade. Capricorn. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Capricorn, your theme this month is about balance, being steady, being poised, establishing establishing an equilibrium for yourself, to not let people throw you off your center, but to stay focused. Okay. Now, the nice thing about your sign is your earth. The only thing is you're in your earth sign in a fire period. So that means you might be a little bit more antsy, but everything you do it with a sense of balance and purpose. This month for you, Capricorn, says the theme is about being diplomatic too, to exercise patience, to exercise some charm and some persuasiveness and convincingness about the way you do things, and not try to push people over. Now, you're going to find it a little challenging in the very opening week, because on the 3rd and the 4th, the moon is going to be sitting in your opposition sign of Cancer. So coming out the gate may not seem as exciting, and it might seem like, wow, it's taking a while. But if you play your cards right and not get caught up in anybody's gossips and scandals, you should weather that week pretty well. However, as you go into the second week, that's going to put some limitations on the things according to your sign. So because we're in a 4-week or 4-month for April, and you'll be in a period somewhat symbolizing what the theme of April is, you just have to be a little bit cautious, be more mindful of your health, be more mindful of your mental health too, as well as your physical health. And do without anything, be mindful. Well, Capricorns know about the use of money anyway, so definitely try not to loan. What you find going into the second half of the month, around the 19th and 20th, you will get an opportunity when you find the sun sitting in the moon, I should say, sitting in your sign, the opportunity to really travel, to begin to spread your wings, to exercise more freedom and flexibility. But the real opportunity comes toward the tail end. Why? Because we will be leaving the fire sign of Aries, going into the earth sign of Taurus, which is after the 21st, 22nd of April. And it's around this week you do be more in your element, and then you'll be in your romance and finance cycle anyway. So I'd expect some interesting developments to take place in the home, with relationships, your health, as well as education. Now, who is expected to help you during this month of April? It will be Cancer, believe it or not, your opposition sign, Taurus, or people born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month. The color to wear, Capricorn, although black is normally assigned to you, should be whites from the lightest to the darkest. They got all shades of white, okay? And so, in addition to that color, the stone or crystal to wear or carry, in addition to shungite, should be pearls. Now, what about Aquarius? If your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Aquarius, the theme this month is about leadership. What do I mean? To act as a guide, to act as a manager, to give direction, to give focus to things you want. Now, you might find this somewhat challenging in the first week, Aquarius, because on the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, the moon will be sitting in your opposition sign of Leo. So it simply means that, yes, it's about endings. Yes, it's about putting things off. And yes, Mercury, see, there's going to be a couple of things happening. Mercury's going to be in retrograde still until the 7th. Venus will still be retrograde, which deals with relationship, and you will happen to be in a month that deals with people from your past, reflecting from the past, ancestors, and things like that. But it also means an opportunity of dreams come true. But at the same time, be cautious, take your time, and things of that nature. It's in the second week that things open up for you, especially getting raises and promotions and advancements in your career or reputation or opportunities with business and things like that. That's going to be the charm. And as you go into the third week, it's going to be a little bit more diplomatic. There's going to be a week where you put on the attack and persuasion about doing things, especially around the 21st and the 22nd when the moon is actually sitting in your sign. The fun part will be at the very tail end of the month, after the 21st or 22nd. And that's when things really open up for you. There's going to be an opportunity. And it's going to be a period to have fun. It's going to be an opportunity to expand your networking. how you socialize with people and things like that, and begin to meet the right people that helps take you to the next level. The people who are going to assist you will be those under the signs of Capricorn, another Aquarius or Libra, or somebody born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of any month. The color to wear for Aquarius this particular month of April is black in all of its shades. You know they got all shades of black too. The stone or crystal to wear or carry in addition to shungite is black diamonds. And finally, saving the best for last, Pisces. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Pisces, you know what your theme is? Wisdom. Don't that sound cool? Wisdom in the sense of going deep, to explore, to go deeper into the reason of life, why things are happening the way they do, to represent wisdom and understanding and spirituality. And since Pisces is known as a psychic sign anyway, your sign, and you exercise in the sense of wisdom and understanding, this will take you to a whole nother level, especially when it connects with things from the past as you open up the week. Because the very first week indicates things that are happening with people from your past, ancestors, things of that nature, doing a lot of growing up. It's going to bring a lot of people back in your life, and you're going to be looking at things in a more reflective fashion too. Now, going into the second week around the 9th and the 10th, when the moon is sitting in your direct opposition sign of Virgo, and you'll be in a kind of week where it says you got to be mindful of impulsiveness. That's when you have to just be careful of not just rushing into things, but use wisdom and understanding to do things and whatnot. This is what all this is about. The wisdom to mean to go down the rabbit hole, to search, to raise your, as they used to say, kundalini, which is raise your consciousness, raise your awareness about the things around you. That's like Solomon, known for his wisdom. Well, you think in those terms like that, and you should do very, very well this month. And as a fact, as you enter the second half of April, is going to allow you to jumpstart your life, to do things on a very fresh level, to begin to be the initiator, the innovator, the pioneer in getting this thing started. Because as you wrap up the last week, the sun is going to be sitting in your moon, the moon, I should say, is going to be sitting in your sign on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So that 72-hour period going into the last days of April is going to really set a nice tone for you. You'll be moving into an earth period of Taurus. You are water signs, so water and earth will go together. You're going to find it a nice mix and blend of getting things done together. But using tact and understanding and wisdom will benefit you to a very large degree. Now, who is likely to help you? Believe it or not, another Pisces like you, a Cancer, or anybody born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month. The color to wear from the lightest to the darkest is all shades of green, okay? And you'll find that the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite should be moonstone. And there you have it for the month of April for all the zodiac signs. And I wish every one of you all the best in your journey, this 31-day period.
Thank you so much, Lloyd, for giving
You're
us
welcome.
awesome, for giving us that awesome snapshot of April. I want to say I appreciate the fact that you come every month just to prepare us for the month that we're about to enter. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, it helps out a lot because it lets me know what I can expect and how I can really navigate the month. So I'm hoping that it's a whole lot of people that feel the same way too. If you are one of those people, make sure you let us know. Let's give Lloyd his flowers. The thing that I think that is so amazing though about this forecast is just like, where do you hold all of this information? You are giving us information for 12 zodiac signs, and you're going week by week telling us what we can expect. That's a lot of information.
Mm-hmm. And
That
I
is
tell
a
you, when the
lot.
moon is in your sign, the moon is in your opposition sign. And I like to say, giving flowers, you need to give flowers to both of us because this month represents our 16th our 16th consecutive month of doing the monthly forecast. And it's all your fault because it started with you. I was minding my business. I was I was looking over here. You said, come here, come over, look over this way. Okay.
I was having fun. I got caught up in it. I
I
said,
did too, obviously.
and look at how much it has improved. That's why I say I take my hat off to you because I don't know how you do it. Is your middle name AI?
It should be.
Because this information is just like automatic. That's awesome. That is awesome. But there's a few things before we go that we want to talk about. April is a new beginning. It's time for you to learn something new. So
Yes.
we're going to introduce you to something new, something you can expect for the month of April. And can you tell us about this?
Yes, I was going to say this is a month that I'm excited to be in because there are three loves that I have. I mean, I really love them. One is my numerology, first and foremost. I don't care about nothing else. Okay. I do care about people, but basically, numerology, then astrology, and my third one is palmistry. You can learn so much from what your hands are. You know, of the most of all the organs, the hands is what we just take it for granted. To scratch our nose, to spank somebody, to hug somebody, to hold something, to carry, to embrace, to grip. You know what I'm saying? To hit. I mean, the hand serves so many purposes. But if you understood the power of the hand, the length of the fingers. So, for example, if you look at the hand there, people don't know, but the ring finger is longer than the first finger. So it tells me anytime you got a short first finger, because each finger rules a zodiac sign or planet. Okay. So the first finger rules Jupiter, the second one rules Saturn, the third finger, the ring finger rules the sun, and the little pinky rules Mercury. And the thumb represents your will or lack of will. Then there's your lifeline, your heart line, your things. I'm going to really get into it where you know thyself. And always, always, your left hand is different than your right hand because one hand shows what you inherit from your mom and dad, but the other hand, it shows what you made for yourself. So even the famous General Napoleon says, the face may deceive, which means you women can put on all the makeup on the planet, but the hands never. The hands, you can't change those lines. When you look at those lines, it's like, oh wow, I've got a hand that I'm going to show people, and see what it is not making judgment, but I'm going to show you in my palmistry course what's normal, what's not normal. For example, we all got a mouth, a nose, and a mouth, right? Well, if my mouth is up here where my eyes should be, that's not normal. I'm sorry. And so it's things like that you look at. But I'm going to teach you, uh, your lifeline, your headline, your heart line, your marriage line, the children. It's going to be fun for me. And the thumb is represents your Venus, and aside from the thumb is your moon. So if the headline curves all the way to the moon, it indicates. I was reading some an actor who is starring on Broadway as in Michael Jackson's play, and when I looked at this headline, it curved all the way into the moon, which deals with the arts or love of the arts. Had it dealt straight across, it have been business. There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm excited about this. And I want people to learn. This is going to be a 4-week workshop. It's going to bring a lot of things together. And it's going to be an intensive. I suggest that y'all click on that QR code and sign up. We make the payments very affordable for you. And that's all I can say. It's going to be fun.
I
I
have
hope
a
people can
question.
join me. You do? You
Yes,
always got questions, Miss Kimbaley. I noticed.
of course. If I didn't, you know something was wrong. My question is, when was the last time you taught palmistry?
The last time I gave a live lecture, that was about 5 years ago. That was a PowerPoint presentation. But, hopefully when done this successfully, it'll be in a replay mode so people can get copies. But we want everybody to be in attendance. I want to see those hands. I want to see the nails. Do you know the nails tell a lot about you too? The shorter the nails, the more critical you are. And each nail rules the indication. So short nails represent things close to the heart. The longer nails represent all this. Oh, man, this is going to be so much fun.
I
It's going
have
to
a
be so much
question.
fun.
One more question is,
Yes.
um, You know how sometimes you can see number patterns in people, especially like family members?
Mm-hmm.
Are there patterns in the palm or in the nails that can be traced back just like the numbers can?
It certainly can, because there'll be patterns of the way. I was in a store the other day, and a man had his nails. His nails was very bulbous, roundish. It looked almost unnatural, and I know right away that this would be a person that you should not cross again into the temple. But they're patterns. They're patterns that we pass down, patterns of traits and things of that nature. So it is. It's very interesting, and what I want to do is try to explain it in a very common sense way that is not complicated. And I like to keep it simple. And if you notice nowadays, if you go into a store like Whole Foods, all you gotta do now is put your hand over the thing and it'll register.
Not
You see
mine.
what I'm saying? No, I ain't put mine either. Ain't taking no chances.
Not
No,
mine.
no, no,
What you
no.
need my hand for?
So when a person is incarcerated, the first thing they do is they fingerprint them.
Yeah.
Because see, although we have a nose, a mouth, and eyes and ears, we can tell the difference. I can tell you from one person versus another person, and likewise. So although we have the same features of basically eyes, a nose, and a mouth, but it's just how it is done. It is in what way it is done and how you look at it. And so now what law enforcement is doing is also taking your palm print too. They used to take the fingerprint, but now they take the whole palm. So it's very interesting, and you can tell the characteristics of the person.
So that means they know something that they're not letting us know they know.
Yeah, they need to have me out there looking. I can help them out. You know what I'm saying?
And there's another thing I want to talk about also. Be on the lookout in April. There will be a mini reading live. And during that mini reading, you will be able to ask Lloyd your questions. You'll be able to get a consultation with Lloyd on that live Zoom meeting. But just be on the lookout for it. Watch the Manifest on Purpose show or live with Lloyd. And when the flyers are available, we'll post them so that you can sign up for that if you plan to attend. Also, I want you to go to Lloyd's linktree numbers and you. And also, there's their Star 8 um, app that you can download. And just like he talked about your forecast for the month today, there's a calendar feature on the Star 8 that's just amazing. It will actually tell you what type of day to expect, and this is on a daily basis. Whether this is a good day for you, a neutral day for you, or whether you need to sit in the house or climb under a rock. But
Exactly.
you can check that out on a Star 8. Uh,
But
dot
I
com. Huh?
I want to say in addition that when Miss Kimberly was talking about April, we're gonna see. I have a live show every Monday and Wednesday. I have so many people commenting, I can't get to everybody. So Miss Kimberly and I came up with this idea of starting a kind of it's part of the Power series, but it's the power to answer your questions, where you will join us. But don't have no distractions. I get so many only after the show, and I look back over all the comments how many people left their birthdays, how many people left their questions. Well, what we want to do is set up an environment where we can all come into the room, you can all ask your questions, and we just get into it. And actually answering the questions is also going to be like learning too. Because not only going to learn about yourselves, you're going to learn about other people. And yes, you can ask more than just one person. You can ask about your child or whatnot. And this and that and the dog and the frog and everything else. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. That's going to be in April, to be determined very quickly. So you will have it through announcements on my show, Live with Lloyd. You'll see announcements on Miss Kimberly's show, Manifest on Purpose, or Astro Numerology Revealed. And by the way, you should definitely see Astro Numerology Revealed and Manifest on Purpose twice a week, and also Abundance Thursday and Weekly Wisdom. She's grown. She's grown. You've grown, Miss Kimberly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, do please check out Kimbaley.com. Make sure that you get your yearly forecast there, compatibility report. You want to know that person that you're with. Maybe something going wrong because of the compatibility. So we need to
Yeah.
find out what's going on, you know. Plus, I'm a little bit nosy too. But
You nosy?
just kidding, just kidding. But one thing that I'm not kidding about is business astro numerology. So, you know, I'm offering the business astro numerology charts, but now I have expanded that and I'm giving consultations to help people align their business with success using astro numerology. So make sure you go to Kimbaley.com to check that out. I think that's very important because so many businesses fail in the beginning and within the first 5 years. And if you are thinking about starting a business, already have one, then this would be the perfect option because you can align with the numerology of your business. Before we go, do you have any additional closing words?
Yes, this is a month to April that we wrap up, is to just be mindful to not overextend yourself. See, four, when you think of a four in numerology, four is like a symbol of a box. So a person might feel confined or boxed in, but it's designed to make sure that you stay within boundaries, which is a very popular word that's come out the last 10 years or so. Everybody's got boundaries over here, boundaries over there. Well, April's going to be a boundary month, you know what I'm saying? And his point is when you're in a four cycle, not to go off track, but to go with an intention, to go with a focus, a roadmap, a blueprint, call it whatever you will, but have a direction of how you're going to get from point A to point B. Simple, as against going all around the barn.
And it's interesting too because you know, April is the fourth month. I have a question, or maybe I should just stop saying that.
No, 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 no. Please go ahead, your question. And I want to say this too. Four also represents the odd and unusual. So you got to allow for all those kinds of things too. Your question.
What about number four people? We always say that if it's your birthday number and you're in that same cycle, that cycle will be more significant for you. So, does that mean that the four person need to place more boundaries or be more aware of boundaries than the other four things? Will the four person be extra weird and unusual
Well,
as
more
well?
weirdness may come out, but what happens is this: anytime the universal cycle is matching a person's date of birth. So, for example, you're born on the 22nd, and we're in a four universal month. Well, all fours, whether it's the 13th, the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st, they will be the beneficiaries of this month. Or if they come under the sign of Leo, which happens to be you, and Aquarius, which happens to be me. However, four, so it gives us an opportunity, but at the same time, because four can be unpredictable, sudden or unexpected, we have to keep that in mind too. So, on one hand, the paradox is four is about having a well laid plan, but on the other hand, you must allow for the sudden, odd, unusual, unexpected. So, it's a darn if you do, darn if you don't. It's also a moody cycle, where I don't feel like talking to you. Don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? We don't feel like being bothered. We like to stay under the radar. And when I say don't feel like being bothered, it's not in a bad way. But fours and sevens have that in common. They just kind of like their own space. So my attitude, the only people who knock on my door is Amazon, FedEx, United Parcels, Post Office. But you can't be, man, I was in the neighborhood, I saw a light on, I figured I'd come and hang out. So a lot of people are not going to be hanging out in people's homes this particular month of April. Because people are going to have this desire that, like, I think I just need my space. I just need some room for me. So it's in because you always ask good questions. I say that facetiously because you always ask good questions. That's why it's like, what questions is he going to ask next?
No, I'm just trying to figure out the benefits of four.
There are many benefits because see, four is a visionary number. The only side effect because fours are so much ahead of themselves. So this, since we're in a four universal month, this is going to be a month. There's a lot of people going to come up with very inventive and unique and visionary ideas. But what happens with a four, because they are visionary, they create a lot of jealousy and envy and insecurity, which I call secret enemies. And so for a four person, they always have this question. I'm just trying to do my job. I don't know why they hate me on the job, but it's that four people are simply ahead of their time. They're ahead of the curve. And so in the moment, you're considered weird. But up the road, when you meet the history books or in the history books, they said, man, she was ahead of her time. Okay. But you ain't get your props in time. That's the only thing.
Like what you probably think they said about Albert Einstein when he was discovering all these theories or creating these theories, and then now people look at him like, oh, he was a genius.
Well, take the Aquarius example of Thomas Edison, an Aquarius. Who would have thought that after 10,000 tries, he finally got it right? Thanks to Lewis Latimer, a brother. Can't leave the brother out, okay? But who would have done after 100 times? I'd have said, man, obviously it ain't working. Because didn't Einstein say, you know, anytime you keep doing something over and over again or something like that, you know, that man obviously didn't listen to Einstein. But to this day, you got lights all over the world. There is no way you can drive or fly or walk without seeing lights on poles and street lamps and houses and buildings and cars and trains and planes. It's just lights are everywhere. Lights are everywhere. But it just shows the genius of four people or Aquarians and whatnot. And geniuses aren't just designated to number fours or Aquarians or Leos or whatever the case is. All of us have genius within. It's a matter of tapping in. So sometimes people feel, well, they talk about Aquarius or Leo and therefore they're left out. Do not be left out. For every sign in the zodiac, I can point out somebody that's done something dramatically famous, dramatically impactful that has affected this world. So, and I do that deliberately in my book, Numbers and You, that everybody should pick up.
Well, thank you. And I'll see you in, oh, is it saying April flowers and May showers?
No, April showers bring May flowers.
Oh, okay. Also, it's the showers this month. Okay, I'll see you when the sun comes back out in May.
Yep, yep. See each other in another 30 days, you know. But in the meantime, for those of you, if you like what you hear to the Almanac, well, what about this and what about that? I will do my research and I will include, in addition to buying a car, buying electronics, getting your hair cut, breaking habits, and asking for loans and businesses, that these things be included because we want to be a wholeness for you. Again, I take pride in the fact, I think I'm just as proud as Miss Kimbaley, the fact that we've done this. I don't normally do things this many months consistently, but I have. And I'm liking it. It's like breaking a record. You know what I'm saying? And I have broke a record because normally once is that's it. Because I said you started this, and I was minding my business too.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, but it wound up being 16 months. It's
You
great.
gotta
I don't
blame it
complain.
on me.
No, I will give you credit because my newsletter that's absolutely free that they can order on Linktree, Numbers and You. That newsletter has actually grown as a result of our collaboration on these monthly forecasts. It has grown. So not only can they read it, which I write totally different than the way I say it, which is with more fun and humor. And I use some humor because sometimes people think they get a little scared or a little spooky. It's nothing spooky at all. It's not. These sciences have been here for hundreds of thousands of years, astrology and numerology. It's just how to interpret them. But we've been taught that they're kind of in a stereotype of thing and that there's, a cross and whatnot. And it's so kind of thing. It gets an evil rap, but it's not that way at all. Not really.
Well, see you in May.
See you in 30 days.